In this video, we're going to talk about the launch of Google Smart Glasses in partnership with Samsung. This is one of my favorite topics because I have the Ray-Ban Meta. I used to have Google Glass and I'm already sold. I'm definitely going to buy these glasses. Today, I'll give you all the details. There's a YouTuber who actually got her hands on the glasses they're scheduled to. I'll get to that in a moment. Stay calm, but she got them, she used them, she tested them, and she's gonna share her opinion on all the features. But first, comment below. Do you see any point in having smart glasses? Do you know what smart glasses are for? Do you know why this beautiful thing here didn't work out? This wonderful thing here, the Google Glass? Comment below. I want to know, maybe you can already guess why it didn't work out. But let's get right to it. Let's react to this video and we'll give you all the details as we go along, okay? Let's go. 3, 2, 1, and then go.
These are Google's XR glasses, and for any tech enthusiast, this is the kind of futuristic gadget we've been waiting for. After trying them out at Google I/O last week, I honestly think they might be the most interesting wearable device Google has shown in years. They're still a prototype, but they already feel different, and in this video I'll explain why. This video is just about the glasses, not the headset, so if you want to see that one, I'll leave the link down below.
Because this here is another product they're going to launch, which they'll release alongside the glasses. The technology is different, but the operating system is Android XR for both, okay?
Now, just a quick note. Google invited us and covered the travel expenses, but didn't ask for anything in return. This video is entirely my own. And if you don't know me, I'm Kaz and I've been creating XR-focused content for about 8 years. Subscribe to follow me beyond reality.
I'll leave her channel linked actually. When I was buying my Ray-Ban Meta here, I watched a lot of her videos. It's really worth following her.
These glasses are incredibly lightweight, weighing in at about the very same weight as the popular Ray-Ban Meta.
Here's mine.
What sets these apart is that they have a built-in translucent display but only for one eye. This is called a monocular display. Actually, this reminds me of the Rainio X2 that I tested before, which also used this kind of setup to be small and lightweight. But Google's design is even smaller. They don't...
What's interesting about theirs, right? Google released this Google Glass here, and it has a screen right here. I can see Google Maps, I can see content, I can see email, I can see WhatsApp messages, because it projects a hologram right here. Why didn't it work out? Because it was launched at the wrong time. It was ugly. I looked like RoboCop at the mall, even though there was Ather is actually a dark lens here, but it still looks like RoboCop. Besides that, the battery also runs out really fast. It's slow. It would overheat because it's a good idea launched at the wrong time. And then Meta came along and launched something that's an evolution, because this model, which is the Wear Fit, it exists at Ray-Ban. So that's basically why it's the same glasses. It's exactly the same. So you're not socially, let's say, like ostracized, right? Let's put it that way, right? Because people don't look at you funny, you know? The battery lasts relatively well. It has a good camera. The other one also recorded video, but it recorded very little and took bad photos. This one already takes good photos, so it's an improvement. And from the moment Meta paved the way, now Google is coming back again with Samsung. But what's the difference? Unlike the Ray-Ban Meta here, it doesn't have a screen here. I do everything here, right? Listening and talking. Here you'll have a screen to view content, but let's keep going here.
They didn't seem bulky at all. They're more like real glasses, and that alone already sets them apart from many previous XR glasses attempts. Google still hasn't revealed exactly what display technology it's using, and I wasn't able to test the entire field of view.
Ah, the screen is from Samsung, right? Obviously. Even Apple uses Samsung screens.
If it's the same, it's probably narrow. That said, for what these glasses are meant to do, like navigation and quick information, they work perfectly well. The benefit of this design is the subtlety. The screen isn't right in your face. For example, when I put on the glasses for the first time, I noticed a small icon in the upper right corner showing the time and the weather, like a floating glimpse of your phone's screen. If you want to ignore it, you can even turn it off. If you want to use it, just take a look. It takes a little while to get used to, but I adapted quickly. Since the use cases are simple and focused, it doesn't have to be overwhelming.
Well, basically, yes. On the arm, there's going to be a little speaker box, just like mine here, for sure. The camera, if you look, it's the same camera placement, which is a bit strange at first because stylistically, by design, it looks nice for sure, right? It looks nice. It's practically the same as mine here. Look, pretty much the same thing. I changed the background screen because it was confusing. There was too much information. But anyway, the difference here from some other models is this. Because when you look here, compared to the Ray-Ban Meta, it's exactly the same. The camera is in the same position. Here you'll have the battery on one side, and around it you'll have the microphones, right? Because it has, for example, this one here has 8, right? I believe it's going to be pretty much the same thing. The design here is done by Ray-Ban and now by Oakley. And also here, Samsung and Google are going to partner with other companies in the fashion industry, so it's going to look good. But here it already looks just fine. Here it has, right? Usually in the case of the Ray-Ban Meta, one side is the flash and the other side is the camera. So when I do this, look, I'm going to press here. You can see that it lights up here. See, look, this is the flash and here is the camera, all right? Now here you can notice that it has the flash here, see? It doesn't have it here because on mine, on the Ray-Ban Meta, it looks like there are 2 cameras, but actually there aren't. It would actually be interesting if there were 2 cameras, because either you would put 2 cameras or you would put one right in the middle here, right? Which in this case, that's how it goes, right? This this way of putting the camera on just one side for filming is not great because it will always be filming more to one side. So you kind of have to turn your head to compensate, but you get used to it. Now, it does look better being on this side, but ideally the camera should be in the middle. That would be the ideal situation. But let's keep going here. Keep sending in your questions, guys, because I get really excited. I really do analyze everything. But let's take a look. Let's keep going here. Another thing I noticed is take a look. He has a screen here, just like she mentioned, right? When she moves her head, there are some reflections here, but that's the case with any glasses, right? If you look here, since I have several lights here, you can see there are some reflections even from my computer screen. But in her case here, you can see the little screen with the content, right? To find out if someone else would be able to look and see what you're seeing, right?
In the upper right corner, it shows the time and the weather like a floating glimpse of your phone screen. If you want to ignore it, you can even turn it off.
Although from the side, you can't really see it, right?
If you want to use it, just take a look. It takes a bit.
Look there, look there. Here you could see it, look. Is this the con? I don't think so. It's not the content because the guy's hand here, it's someone filming her from the front. Oh, cool, cool. So you won't be able to see it.
It takes a little time to get used to, but I adapted quickly. Since the use cases are simple and focused, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. This isn't full augmented reality. You don't see 3D objects floating around. It's more like getting simple information or notifications right in front of you, kind of like smartwatches for your eyes. My guide during the demo said that the glasses are supposed to support something called 3DOF, which means they can track the rotation of your head, like turning left, right, up and down. So even though it doesn't track your position in space like VR headsets do, it might still support simple AR-style apps in the future. The display was clear enough to read text even when there were things happening in the background. I noticed a slight rainbow-like glare next to my right eye.
Look, so this is the screen, right? It's kind of like a little sticker, to put it crudely and all. Now, what I keep thinking is that people are already glued to their phones, already kind of spaced out, right? With this, they're going to be kind of, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird, right? She's talking to you here, but sometimes she's kind of looking, you know what I mean? The person is talking to you, and then they're kind of looking to the side because actually they're reading an email, checking a message on WhatsApp, or seeing a notification on Instagram. It's the same thing having a screen here and a screen here, right? Sometimes I kind of glance over there to check some information. Imagine someone talking to you, kind of looking over there, People are already kind of spaced out. It's kind of weird, kind of complicated, right? Anyway, but let's keep going here because there's a lot to cover.
Nothing major, just something you might notice if you're paying attention. It wasn't something that distracted me and I quickly forgot about it. I didn't get the chance to test it in full sunlight, so I can't say how it performs outdoors. The glasses seemed fast and responsive, and the display didn't block my view of the real world. Google still hasn't released the exact screen resolution, but everything looks sharp and clear indoors. Another cool thing is that other people could hardly tell there was a display on my glasses only if they looked from a very specific angle. Might they notice the rainbow-colored rectangle where the screen is? There's a button on the glasses to turn off the display if you want to take a break, and another one on the top to take photos. The right arm has a touchpad. Press and hold to activate Gemini.
Well, let's talk about the recording issue, right? One of the problems with Google Glass with the old model was that people knew exactly what it was, right? And then people would get kind of nervous, when you walked into a restaurant, when you went into the bathroom and so on. But that was from a time when not every phone had, so many cameras, social media, and all that. Now, my friend, it doesn't matter if this thing takes pictures because anyone in the bathroom has a phone, anyone on the street has a phone. So, if someone wants to film you, they're going to film you without you even noticing. They just pretend they're on WhatsApp and that's it. They'll take photos or videos of you without you knowing if they want to. So here on the glasses, it's much harder because when I record or take a photo, the little light starts blinking here. It keeps notifying that I'm filming. So it's way, way harder for me to secretly film or take photos from here than from a phone. So in other words, that social barrier has kind of been overcome, so to speak. Now, talking about content creation, why do I really want the Google Glasses? I'm going to keep using both, even for the style, It's normal. People have 2 pairs of glasses, sometimes even 2 watches, right? So they're 2 different designs, so I'll use both. But I think the Google one will be much better because Google owns YouTube. And on YouTube, you can record videos both horizontally for long videos and vertically, which is for shorts, right? With Meta, since Meta owns Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, it only has vertical videos, right? So I can only record vertically, only for shorts or reels. If I want to record horizontally, I have to edit, expand it, and it turns out bad. So the Google Glasses are going to be much more complete. It makes total sense because they have YouTube, right? Or it will record in a square format, right? Because if it records in a square format, you can expand it vertically or horizontally. You'll be able to choose both formats, vertical and horizontal.
Even though I made a few attempts, I found it very intuitive. They're also comfortable, and even with all this built-in technology, they didn't slip down my Asian nose like some of these smart glasses usually do. But what's the practical use? These glasses weren't made to replace your phone. They were created to make quick moments smarter. They integrate Gemini and run Android XR. So, in theory, they should work with all Android apps from the Play Store. In our test, which was in a controlled environment, we could only try out a few things. First, Gemini's visual perception was impressive. There was an almost invisible camera on the front, and if you allow it, it can identify and describe what's around you.
Well, basically, what are they going to do? They're going to use Google Live, right? I have it here on both Android and iPhone, but basically what you do, look, when you click here, you can even speak, but check this out. When you click here, look, I'm going to hold it. Then look, it opened up live here, right? So if I click here, which I can do, it's just that I'm talking to you guys right now, right? But look, it already opens here. I'm going to mute it quickly here. Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
Hi, how can I help you?
I'm recording a video here for YouTube. Let me show you. Look at this. Can you see the screen here? What are you seeing here?
It looks like a video recording. The image is a bit shaky, but you can see a woman interacting with some objects on a shelf. Are you liking the results so far?
On that shelf with a table there, what is on top of the table?
On the table, I can see 2 pairs of glasses, 2 cell phones, and some magazines. Are you filming a commercial?
No, I'm filming the launch of the new glasses from Google, right? Because you're from Google, right? Gemini. So it's the glasses with Android XR that runs Gemini, which means you'll be operating on the glasses, right? Amazing, isn't it?
How cool! So you're filming the launch of the glasses with Android XR that will use Gemini? Are you excited about the launch?
Very much so. Really, really excited. So you realize what's going to happen. Look, it's going to move from the phone to the glasses. And here I had to point, right, at my computer at the screen so it could see, and you saw that it showed it here, right? It said, oh, there's the glasses here, there's a woman interacting with the screen and so on, right? So imagine that, but without having to hold your phone. I just look and talk to it. I can do that here. Meta has it. The only problem, my only gripe, is that depending on where you are, if you're in the United States, everything is available. But depending on which country you're in, for example, in Brazil, these features, aside from taking photos, listening to music, recording videos, asking about the weather, I can interact in the way I just did. Now, since Gemini is Google and also Samsung, it's going to be available worldwide for sure. So that means they're easily going to surpass that idiot Mark Zuckerberg who just won't make this available to everyone, right?
I asked about the artworks on the walls, and it described what it saw in real time, not just naming objects, but interpreting them. It felt like a glimpse of what AI glasses with contextual awareness can really do. And hey, if you're finding this cool so far, maybe give this video a like. That lets the algorithm know that, hey, XR is really interesting and helps more people discover it.
That's it, folks. Look, you're already subscribed, right? But give it a like, share this video, and leave a comment. 1 of 2 out of 3, come on. Give it a like and share it. Say something like, I would if money wasn't an issue, I would have smart glasses. Write it down. I would have smart glasses. Let's keep going here.
The next thing I tested was Google Maps navigation, which was more than just arrows. So when I looked up, I could see the step-by-step directions. When I looked down, the map appeared in a circle and even rotated along with me. It's a smart use of sensors to provide spatial feedback. I could also take a photo with the tablet and instantly see on the screen what I captured. Really handy for quick checks and framing the shot.
Look how cool that is. It shows here how the photo turned out. Then you can say something like, now share it on Instagram, now send it to a certain person on social media, to a friend, to your wife, to your husband. So you take the photo and just send it right away. Soon you'll be able to ask it to reply to emails. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
It's a step forward compared to the Ray-Ban Metas where...
Look how cool this is. Very wait, but is this the Ray-Ban Meta? No, this one is in her hand, right? No, it's different. It's different, but here there are 2 little holes, right? The Ray-Ban Meta is the one with 2 little holes.
You can't see what it's capturing. Now the colors are super vibrant, but at least it's not just a basic monochrome display with only one color, like we've seen in other smart glasses. That said, I really couldn't review the full image quality on a larger screen.
People are going to create YouTube and Instagram channels just with this perspective. Because imagine one thing is filming here and then you see the guy's hand filming. Another thing is when you're looking around, suddenly you're riding a bike, suddenly you're on the street, then suddenly you're in a meeting, but the person is seeing exactly what you're seeing. So imagine a reality show of someone who has an interesting life, let's say. And then you kind of follow them, right? Like seeing the world the way they see it, Man, that's incredible, really incredible.
So I don't know how good these photos actually are. I also found out that there are 4 built-in microphones. They were designed to filter out noise and capture your voice clearly, like a stereo input, which can make conversations with Zemin or sound recording much more precise.
Look, Samsung will probably provide the screen and the cameras, which are the best, and Google will provide the filters, right? Google's post-processing is really good. It enhances both photos and videos through post-processing. Honestly, 3 would risk saying that.
It also has built-in speakers, although I haven't really tested the audio much yet. I'm curious to see if they're going to compete with the Ray-Ban Metas in that regard. So they'll need internet for Zemin's features, and the glasses stay connected to a nearby phone, which seems to handle most of the processing, like AI responses.
There's also translation though. You think they'll mention real-time translation?
Some basic functions might work offline in the future, but for now, think of it as a smart extension of your phone. During the presentation, they also demonstrated real-time translation, which I didn't get to test myself, but the idea is exciting. And the latency seemed low.
The only thing I don't get is this. I'm wearing my glasses, right? So the person is speaking to me in English, I'm hearing it in Brazilian Portuguese, then I speak in Portuguese, right? Then they would have to hear it in English. But if only I have the glasses, then they'll speak in English and I'll hear it in Portuguese here. So when I speak in Portuguese, they'll need a device to translate it, so they'll need another pair of glasses or they'll need a phone. When you have a phone, you can use both Gemini and ChatGPT. You just put it here in the middle. See, you leave it in the middle. Okay, so there's a person here and a person here. Then the person speaks in Portuguese here. It goes here, reaches the artificial intelligence, and it translates to English. Then the person speaks in English and the artificial intelligence speaks in Portuguese. So you can do it in the middle. Now, if you have glasses here, the other person needs to have another pair of glasses or another device. If not, the conversation doesn't flow. Now, what's interesting, when you're watching a movie, a presentation, suddenly you're at the theater in another country, then it's fine because the person is speaking in Chinese over there, right? You're in China, you're listening in Chinese, then your glasses are translating the speech or showing subtitles, it's something just for you. Then it makes sense. But to communicate, you'll need either two devices or a device in the middle, right?
Sometimes Jen needed a second, but nothing that got in the way. Navigating the small demo space felt smooth and precise as I looked around and walked through it. Google sees these glasses as complementary to the headset, so glasses for quick use in environments.
I call this nonsense, okay? For gaming, but this thing gets tiring, it makes you dizzy. Anyway, you stay at home, you can't play, I don't know, playing with two people is weird. Anyway, it's not for me, I don't like it, I think this here is much better. Of course, when this here manages to have the capabilities of that, but lighter, then maybe, but they're for different purposes. For me, it's like a video game or for watching movies, but with that money, you could buy a big screen and watch with more than one person. Or are you gonna have 4 people with 4 of these? Can you imagine? Anyway.
Satisfied in terms of emotion? This is contextual computing using what fits your current situation. These glasses, they don't draw attention. That's their strong point. They don't replace your phone, they expand it. No more looking at your wrist or pulling your phone out of your pocket. Just look straight ahead.
Another thing, say you're at a concert, for example. So you just stand there, right? Influencers and so on end up missing the show because they're busy filming. Then you're like, damn, is it framed right? Is it looking good and all that? With the glasses, you keep watching the show because you just press to record or say, hey, start recording. And you're still enjoying the show. You're watching, you just can't move your head too much. Otherwise, the video turns out bad, but you're enjoying the moment, you know? You're there with your kid, you pick up your kid and record, but you're still with your kid, you're enjoying it. But with your phone, you end up like this, right? Anyway, not to mention that when you point your phone at someone, the situation changes, the person acts different. When you're recording with glasses, sometimes the person doesn't even notice, right? And that way, it doesn't ruin the moment, right?
And unlike a lot of AR glasses that try to do too much without really delivering, these seem focused and simply comfortable.
That's another cool thing. Are you cooking? You're holding your phone, right? Come on. You're not chopping there with your phone in your hand, are you? You're gonna have to stop what you're doing. Yeah, what are you doing to grab your phone? With the glasses here, you can just look and say, am I chopping this right? Look, I have these ingredients, but I also have something in the pot over there. Then you look at the chicken. Is it done or does it need another 5 minutes? You look in the fridge and say, look, I have these ingredients. What can I make with them? Can I make a sauce out of something? So, I mean, you're interacting, but you still have both your hands free. That's what's amazing, right? You don't have to use your hands.
But the big difference is that these glasses run Android XR. That means they can use software that already works well and has a lot of developers behind it. Previous smart glasses with...
Look here. See, the camera is in the middle. Like I said, it looks a bit weirder, but for content recording, it makes more sense because it's more centered, right?
The Ray-Ban X2.
They could have had 2 cameras, right? One vertical and one horizontal. Anyway, I believe you'll be able to adjust it.
They didn't have that, so you were limited to just a few apps or functions. They even had a bit of artificial intelligence, but Zemin is on a whole different level. It's much more advanced, like using ChatGPT, but integrated directly into your glasses.
Glasses that have ChatGPT as well definitely have a lot of potential, right?
The hardware I tested was just a prototype, but Google said they're going to partner with Gentry Monster and Warby Parker. So I hope more refined designs in the future. So...
These are TUI, ended up interrupting, sorry. These are the designs I mentioned, Meta, Ray-Ban, and Oakley. And here, right, you just mentioned it, right?
That would be Warby Parker. So expect more refined designs in the future. So if the final version keeps this size, feel, functionality, and is still stylish, that will definitely be a win. And with both the headset and the glasses running Android XR, this could really become a unified ecosystem.
No, and Google's ecosystem is unbeatable. Look, you have YouTube, you have Google Drive, Google Maps, Google Chrome, Gmail, Google Photos, Google Search, the Play Store with all the apps, and even Gemini itself. I managed to name them all. Look at that. Here you have, well, this is actually where you manage your content, right? Your presentations and so on. If I missed any, I apologize, but I believe that's all of them. There are others, right?
So, did I like them? Honestly, more than I expected. For years, smart glasses always seemed out of reach. They were either too bulky, too limited, or lacked good software. This could finally change that situation. These glasses seem fast, sharp, and overall useful. And with artificial intelligence and Google software behind them, there's real potential here. If they add transition lenses or photochromic options, honestly, I might never take them off. As someone who lives inside Google Apps every day, the possibilities with the MN are kind of insane.
The transitions feature here too basically works like this. When I go somewhere sunny, the lens darkens. Then I go into the mall or a restaurant and the lens becomes clear. Then I go back out into the sun and it darkens again, so it's wonderful.
Imagine scheduling your day, replying to emails without needing to be near a computer, planning workouts, or even getting dinner ideas just by looking at what's in your fridge.
I'm a bit concerned about sweating, or if you're in a really hot place, then maybe it could be tricky, right?
It's like having a personal assistant with you all the time, and for the first time, it might actually be accessible. For now, there's still no release date, price, or full specifications.
They said it would be at the end of the year, right? To catch the Christmas season and all that, let's hope for it.
We'd have to wait, but I'd love to know your opinion. Would you use glasses like these? And what would they need to do for you to keep using them? Tell me down below and subscribe too.
Comment your answers to these questions below. If you had the money and it wasn't an issue, would you use smart glasses? And why would you use them? Which feature did you like the most? Comment down below. I want to know. I'll leave some videos here about this smart glasses topic and so on, all right? So you can keep following along with me. See you in the next video. See you soon!